This is Mark Abus. I'm with XRM Cubed. We're so happy you could join us for today's presentation. We're going to cover content marketing and how to make sure that your content marketing strategy and CRM strategy are working hand in hand. At XRM Cubed, we love to share all the different ways dynamic CRM can help you manage your entire customer base and customer life cycle. In today's webinar, we'll be covering not only the trends and statistics involved related to content marketing, but really talk about being able to use your CRM to sense, record, and act upon those content consumers, those individuals that are visiting your site to download white papers, attend webinars, and so on. So we're looking forward to a really great webinar today. That's me on the right again. I'm Mark Abus, Vice President of Sales and Marketing here at XRM Cube. One of my co-presenters is Ken Farmer. That's him on the left. Ken's our President and Principal Consultant. XRM Cubed is a member of the Microsoft Partner Network. We are a Silver Dynamic CRM partner. The Silver designation means our consultants are certified and possess all the training, expertise, experience to configure your dynamic CRM system to support your specific business processes. All of our consultants are CRM subject matter experts. We concentrate exclusively on Microsoft Dynamics CRM implementations, integrations, customizations, training, and development. We work with clients of all sizes and types. We've got large multinationals, small and medium-sized businesses, nonprofits, you name it. So if you're new to Dynamic CRM, if you have no CRM at all, if you need help with an existing installation of Microsoft Dynamics, or perhaps you're thinking about moving off a competing platform, we're here to help answer questions and hopefully help you out with the project. I'm really excited about today's guest panelist. That's Nanette Newbury. Nanette is Principal and Creative Director for Studio 2055. They're a brand marketing agency. They're all about helping customers drive revenue. Their expertise in advising clients on marketing strategy, as well as their proficiencies in design and technical areas, will really help move your company ahead. They've got a lot of recognizable brands amongst their client list, including TaylorMade Golf, 20th Century Fox, Four Seasons Resorts, the Gemological Institute of America, as well as a host of architects, engineers, and general contracting firms. They're located here in Carlsbad, California, so we're very happy to have them close by. A little bit about Dynamic CRM 2013, a fairly recent upgrade, delivering amazing customer experience. So the entire system has been updated, upgraded, and refined to help you deliver amazing customer experiences throughout the customer life cycle. There's robust functionality that lends structure and reinforces all your customer-facing processes and allows you to adapt to a challenging business environment in a collaborative fashion. So whether you're the marketing manager creating and budgeting campaigns, you're an inside salesperson nurturing and cultivating leads, if you're the outside salesperson closing those big deals, or a customer support rep helping with a support issue, all the tools are in Dynamic CRM 2013. If you're a manager or a data analyst, all the data entered into the CRM can be contextualized and visualized in the form of charts, data views, and reports, so you can manage your business more effectively and make better decisions going forward. So what I'm going to do now is turn the presentation over to our guest panelist. Nanette Newbury.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. Let's see here. Good morning. Can everyone hear me just fine?
They're all muted.
Oh, okay. So you're going to unmute them?
No, they will be unmuted during the question and answer, but for the sake of keeping the background
Muted. Unmuted.
Do I start?
Go ahead, Nanette. People will be unmuted for the question and answer.
Okay, so I'm going to start my presentation. Good morning, everybody. This is Nanette from Studio 2055, and I'm going to talk today about filling your sales pipeline and the value of content marketing, which is a perfect marriage to dynamic CRM and all the tools that they have to implement and also track all of your content and your marketing campaigns. So what exactly is content marketing? This can be very confusing because there's a lot of noise out there, and we'd like to really describe to you exactly how you can use and implement content marketing and what it is to fill that sales pipeline and basically end up growing leads for your company. Content marketing is the art of creating and curating and distributing valuable content. Now the word valuable is really key here because a lot of times companies put out and just retweet or put on social media things that are not so relative and help their customers too much. So for the purposes of building credibility and to position your company as thought leaders within your industry, it really puts you ahead of the game. And this drives people to your company. Content marketing is pull marketing rather than push marketing, which is more the traditional advertising avenues and channels that people used to use for getting their message out. So now this is pull marketing, pulling people towards you. And the tone is very key. It's different, again, than push marketing. Exceptional and valuable content induces conversation. So you want to create a conversation with your user and insight and promote people to share the information. So anything that you put out there, you think about how can it go viral? How can people share this appropriate to your message that you would like to build? And this is a great opportunity to create a tone and brand for your company. And blogs and social are more casual in nature and conversational, where the newsletters, oftentimes email newsletters or email marketing campaigns, are more factual and formal. So there's different types of tone that can go into your campaigns. So how does it provide lead generation? So the distribution, again, I'm going to stress is valuable because I get tons and tons of emails and blogs and things like that are not really relevant to me, but you can really target what that relevancy is through these different channels, which are blogs and social media, speeches. The big one nowadays is video. Video has grown hugely, not only for getting content out, but also for search. Videos are searched now through the content and through keywords. So they're key. And then, of course, we have podcasts and webinars.
Nanette?
Yes.
This is Mark. We've had a couple of our attendees ask you to turn your volume up a little bit. So you can either do that or maybe speak a little louder, whichever is easier.
How's that? Is that better?
Well, I can hear you just fine, but we did have a couple people send me a message saying they're having a little trouble with your volume.
Okay, I just turned it all the way up. Let's see here. Okay. So let me know how that goes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So here are some stats to show you about the growth that is happening within content marketing. I mean, this has been around for 8 to 10 years, content marketing, but it has grown substantially. And social media is the #1 channel for growth. This is followed by website content and e-newsletters. And again, I talked about how video is ranking quite high these days. This is the place where people can find you online. And the more that you can be found online through SEO, through content marketing, it spreads that message and the brand and builds that brand throughout all of these different channels. So you have a lot of different ways to go, all the way down to even gaming and mobile apps. You know, mobile apps is gaining a little bit, but still it's really, the distribution is really up here in the social media and articles and e-newsletters. And then again, here's videos at 70%. So that's pretty substantial. So this is a content budget growth. There's 45% increase, almost half of companies are going to spend more money this year on content marketing than they did in the previous years. The benefits from the buyer's perspective are immense. There's just 5 here, but I'll touch on these. It's very convenient. People can access it through their desktop, through their phone, through a tablet. It's very quick. It can be shared very fast, very quickly. There's a great variety, so you can kind of pick and choose really what you want. If you want to opt out of an email newsletter, but you're really interested in following somebody on Pinterest or something like this, then you have a way to, the consumer or the buyer is in control of really what they want to see and how they want to get that message delivered. And it is very geographically diverse, meaning I don't really want to hear about something that's not relevant to my area, where I can get very targeted, specific messages for where I'm located. And of course, as familiar people are used to seeing these things. The curve is up there. From the marketer's perspective, generate leads. Now this is huge. You can, again, fill that sales pipeline with leads that are coming from these likes and from people opting in, and they go right into your CRM where they can be sorted and analyzed there for the sales staff to pick those up and follow through. And then brand building. The more your brand builds trust and puts you in a position of leadership, it keeps people engaged. People keep coming back to what you're talking about, to what you're presenting to them, the facts, training them. And this webinar is a great example of that. And it's less expensive than regular advertising. You can set up automation within your company. You can look at the analytics quickly and share those quickly. So it's really a dream. This is a marketer's dream boat as far as I'm concerned. We use it in our small business, and with a lot of our companies, we can really see the growth in their sales leads are coming through. So here are some basic fundamentals, how to get started. You want to first set a strategy, and this is a group discussion with your marketing team and sales team to define who that buyer is. And it's really most effective when it's written and designed and distributed for a specific reader, such as a predetermined business persona, a prospect facing a challenge, or an active lead that meets criteria. So you really want to target this message for that persona. And that's the beauty of content marketing, is you can speak to a lot of different channels here, a lot of different types of people. What does your prospect need? What do they want? Do they want information about your product? Do they want product benefits and features or comparisons? Do they want different stories and values? What exactly are they looking for? And then find a way to get that message out and to maximize the impact. Here's the plan. So now that you've set the strategy, you can start implementing the plan. So it starts at the core of the content. And then it springs out here to create the content, which we were just kind of talking about. And then you push it out, publish it. Then you promote it through all your social media channels and even through one-on-one meetings with people, talking about it and sharing through networking. Then you monitor it, you're watching it as it's spreading the information out to your channels, and then you analyze it. Then all of this ends up engaging the customer and discussing with each other, participation within that content, and then builds loyalty. So the plan is to fill the sales pipeline and generate leads, through your CRM. And this is the process. First of all, make a calendar. So now you've had your strategy, you know how you're going to engage. You do a calendar that shows, what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and who's going to do it, who are the writers, are there co-writers, who are the admins on the blog postings, what is the process for looking at the content on the blog and getting approval for that. Then how is it pulling into your website? Do you have automation tools on your website to do that, and then to also pull it into social sharing like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest? There are automated tools that do that for you on a website, and it really increases the value of that content 100-fold. I don't know how many folds, but a lot. And then you always want to measure. The great thing about content marketing and the internet is that we can measure everything by hard facts and by click-throughs, by who's engaged, who's read this, how many people are going into your sales funnel. And here are the final facts that I'd like to end this brief content marketing webinar with you, is that 77% of companies generate new business leads online. That is incredible compared to how we used to do advertising and get our message out and trying to analyze all that data. It's so easy to do this. And then customers will more likely buy from you if you've helped them achieve their success and to give them the knowledge base that they need. I mean, a perfect example of this is again, this webinar and learning about CRM and being able to take this, to be able to make an informed decision about how best to use CRM and make the best choice. So that is my presentation for today. Here are some resources, and I know that Mark and Ken are going to have this available for you. One of the great ones is contentmarketinginstitute.com. They have tons of resources on how to plan. They have planning schedules on their website that you can get. Hootsuite and TweetDeck are automated resources for pushing the content out automatically and monitoring it on the fly. So those are very, very good resources as well. Here's my contact information. Again, this will be available to you after the webinar. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything. And I really want to thank Mark and Ken for having me today. And I'm going to listen into what they have to say about their CRM.
Thank you, Nanette. That was great. We're going to switch our presenter to Ken Farmer. Since we've had some audio issues, I think we're going to opt for the question and answer portion to be communicated through the questions functionality that's in your control panel. Okay, Ken. Let's make sure I don't have you muted.
Good afternoon, or good morning, everybody. Mark, you can hear me okay, I'm assuming?
You sound great, and it's good morning and afternoon to our friends on the East Coast. So you were right the first time and the second time.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Well, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ken Farmer. I'm the president and principal consultant for XRM Cubed. The second part of my title is actually the one that I appreciate the most. I've been working with the Dynamic CRM product and consulting with customers around their business processes now for quite some time. I've been involved in the Dynamic CRM product since it was first in beta. I was part of the original beta team, and we've been working with it as a group since 2002, I guess, was the official release date, 2001, 2002. As Mark has explained, our company is really geared towards Dynamic CRM specific consulting. We sell, we implement, we work with our clients to help them realize the vision of the processes that they need in their business, in their industry, to be able to deliver excellent customer service and sales. Part of one of the reasons that I'm really excited about today's presentation and having Nanette talk to us about the content marketing piece is that our world has changed dramatically in the business world. Whether you're talking B2B, B2C, it really doesn't matter anymore. The internet and social media and all of the pieces and parts that come around with it, some nice and clean and some unbelievably messy, are all part of what we as business owners and folks in our different industries have to work with today. It makes it fun, it makes it exciting, and it can be a little frustrating as well. So I'm going to touch just briefly on a couple of things that Nanette said as they relate to Dynamic CRM, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of CRM. So obviously the goal with content marketing is not just to get your name out, to let people be reading your blogs and following you on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, all those other places, but it's also to be generating some actionable data for you to be able to continue to market to sell to build a relationship with, and to engage with. Now, whether that, again, is B2B or B2C almost doesn't matter. Many companies, the traditional B2B or B2C barriers and walls that have been thrown up are not so much in play anymore. You know, there are still pure play, one or the other, but we all have a tendency to sell individually and across all boundaries. One of the things that has made Dynamic CRM and the CRM space as a whole so exciting over the last 4, 5, 6 years especially is the rapid changes that we're all seeing in our business. The rapid changes in terms of how we interact with customers and prospects. And we have all found, I think, to a certain degree that marketing is the first step, and we need to get people to give us their information or to opt into certain programs, marketing newsletters, whatever the case may be, but more importantly, to deliver the content to them to really build that long-term relationship. Content marketing to us is not about just saying, hey, here's who we are, and here's a little information about us, and here's some blogs, and here's our Twitter feed, and all of this, you know, let us sell to you. But it's, here's all of this information, and gosh, we've appreciated the fact that you've given us the opportunity to sell to you. Now comes the relationship part, and we're not in this to go away. We're in this to say, you know, yes, we've engaged with you and been able to provide you with the content that you've needed to make the decision to choose us, to choose Dynamic CRM. But now here's the content that it takes to maintain your system. Here's some tips and tricks around new things or new pieces of functionality that have come out with Dynamic CRM. So having said all of that, I'm going to spend about 20 minutes and I'm going to show you Dynamic CRM as it relates to some of the things that Nanette has been talking about around content marketing, keeping in mind that the objective for us business folks is to spend that money to put the effort forward on the content marketing piece, which is driving actionable data to us, and hopefully, if you do it right, directly into your CRM system, so that you can then relate with it, run your processes against it, whether it's a sales process that I'll show you here momentarily, or whether it happens to be a nurture marketing campaign or a drip campaign or something along those lines that helps you move that relationship forward. Because truly today it comes down to the relationships that you build, and content marketing, in our opinion, is really that first step. Get your name out there, get people interested, get the conversation started, and then life cycle their project all the way through. So Dynamic CRM. This is what you see on your screen is Dynamic CRM online. If you have it on premise, it's Dynamic CRM 2013. CRM is obviously Dynamic CRM, pardon me, is a Microsoft product. And one of the great pieces, and the reason that I've enjoyed working with this product so much is the team that Microsoft has involved in it, building the bulk of what they've needed from scratch from the very beginning, and then bringing in different pieces and parts to augment the functionality they're continuing to build out, and how they're really driving the conversation around what CRM can do. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management, generally speaking, but that C in the CRM acronym really can mean a lot of different things, and that's where the X. So you see XRM, which means anything you wanted relationship management. And what that means for us is really that, it's not just about here's an account record and here's a contact record and here's a lead record. Now you have the ability to work with these. It's about a lot of other things. We work with companies in all kinds of different industries, and they need to manage financial portfolios. They need to manage healthcare programs or customers within a healthcare type environment. They have a non-for-profit organization, for instance, and we do a lot of work with not-for-profit groups, and they're managing constituents, or they're managing charitable donations, that kind of thing. So that's where the X in XRM comes in, and the Dynamic CRM platform really lends itself well to that kind of interaction and the ability to build and customize and configure as you need it. So for those of you who have seen Dynamic CRM, this is just going to be just a real quick refresher. For those of you who have not, I could sit here and spend 4 days probably talking about this. My staff tells me that quite often. But we're going to try and go through some key elements just as they are represented to the content and to the theme that we have today in our webinar. First thing I'd like to show you is just some basic navigation. Dynamic CRM is a web-based interface. It also can live inside of your Outlook. There are quite a few new mobility pieces, and you can use different browsers to access the information. So there are apps for your iPad, there are apps for your Windows tablet, your Android tablet, your mobile phone, so that you can access the data when and where you need it. Mobility is an enormous piece to not just the content side, but to the actual day-to-day operations within CRM, and that's one of the big themes with Dynamic CRM moving forward. So you can see that we have basically 3 default out-of-the-box modules, if you will: sales, service, and marketing. Sales is as you would expect, lead generation, accounts and contacts being nurtured, opportunities you're selling, you're really working towards either the initial sale or an add-on sale or ongoing existing customer sales. Marketing is the piece that you do either beforehand, getting it, what we're talking about today, content marketing, moving through selling campaigns, nurture campaigns, new product type campaigns, whatever it is that you might need. We won't spend much time there today. That's a whole half-day conference in itself, or webinar in itself. And then there's customer service, and the customer service side of this has been available from day one. However, it's been slowly developed over the last several years, but now Microsoft has purchased a new product, an add-on product that's being integrated into the system, and we're going to see that in the spring release. I'm going to talk a little bit about the spring release at the end before we do any questions. Okay, so we're going to really focus today on the theme of content marketing. What happens when that content marketing is in play? You're doing a great job of it, whether it's through blogs or what have you. So the goal is that you want information from those folks. You want them to engage with you, and oftentimes these days it's the pull that Nanette was talking about. You're pulling them into engaging with you, and that's where it starts. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, there were some very structured sales processes, for instance, lead to opportunity to close, and it really was driven by the vendor. So if it was us, for instance, we would be driving the entire conversation. We would be starting soup to nuts. We would be showing them what CRM actually is. We would be showing them the capabilities of our offering. We would be driving the conversation with them and really controlling it from start to finish. Today, that's different. Today, oftentimes, and the statistics in several of our other webinars have shown this, is that for most prospects, they're over halfway through what they consider to be the sales process in their own minds and what they need to do, and before they've even engaged with you. So they've already done some research around what CRM truly is. They've already done the research on perhaps the different products that are out there in the field. I'm speaking obviously to our sales process, but it's the same thing with yours. They've done a lot of the research, and now they're going to choose to engage with a couple of vendors. And that's really the big change, is by the time these prospects have gotten to you, they're already quite a way through the process. You need to be able to engage them at their level and when they're ready for it. So that's where CRM is going to help you come into play with your various sales processes that you can put into play. So content marketing, you're bringing the data in. Hopefully that they're signing up for events, webinars like this, for instance. They are opting into your email marketing. They are engaging with you through social media. All of these different pieces and parts, so that you start bringing them in now to your pipeline, and you can bring them in at many different stages. But hopefully, whether it's fill out a form on your website, let's just use that as a quick example. That form needs to drive the data directly into CRM. So the old default was kind of your web designers would build the form, and it would then send an email to somebody, and that person would take that email and they would go ahead and try and enter it into whatever system that they were using. Well, that's really old school these days. So you go, and I'll use our website as an example. You go into our website, and there's several different ways to engage with us. There's multiple landing pages and forms for you to fill out your information. And those all get driven directly into CRM automatically as a lead record, for instance. Lead records can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but overall it's leads. So this is where the process then starts. So we're looking at one of the default dashboards in CRM. This one is kind of an overview dashboard, so you've got your pipeline here on the left. The pipeline is configured based on what your process is. And for purposes of our demo, this is a demo environment. And we have basically a 4-stage sales process. Pretty simple, pretty easy. It can be as simple or as complex as your business entails. In this case, for demo purposes, we've got 4 stages: qualify, develop, propose, and close. And this actually is starting at that lead level. Over here in the middle, you can see just a real quick, leads by source campaign. This is on the right-hand side really is around service cases, and we're not going to touch on service today. And then you've got some activities down here on the side. I'm going to go straight over to the lead area, and we'll kind of take a look at what we've got. So you can see across the top here, we're in sales. We're in the sales module. Now, it doesn't segment the data out. It just presents you with a list of options based on what your role is within your organization. In this case, we're going to work as a salesperson. And you can see by hovering over the sales, all the different pieces and parts. You've got, as you would expect, accounts, contacts, and leads, and opportunities. Those are going to be your key ones. And then you've also got competitors. You've got quotes. We can scroll over here, see orders, invoices, products. So it kind of goes all the way through into sales goals and metrics and your roll-up queries, and then finally wrapping up with reports and then your own personal calendar here, because CRM does synchronize with your Outlook and Exchange. All of your calendar, your tasks, everything else will sync up and exist in both places for you. So we're going to go back to just leads. So I'm going to click on leads, and we're going to come up with a basic list of leads. These are the lead records that have come into the system, and again, this is a demo system. But we can start seeing by this view here some basic information. This is a list, as you can see, of open leads. We can set our criteria multiple different ways in terms of how we want to look at it. If I click on this, I can see different leads, different queries of the leads that happen to exist in the system, ones that are specific to me, that I have assigned to myself, leads that have opened up this week or last week, and these are all the system ones, and then I can create some personal views as well to say, hey, I only want to see my leads that are greater, that possibly have an estimated value greater than $10,000 or happen to be in this location or whatever the case may be, and I can personalize that, set that up. So we're going to look at these leads here. So if I open one of these leads, and I'm going to pick one here, Allie's, she's interested in some plotters. And you're going to see as we pop this lead record open, there's a couple of things here that are going to become immediately apparent. The first is that we have a whole host of information here along what we call the flow UI. So this is our sales process as it goes through here. And you'll see that we have a couple of questions that we can answer. And this is really to help guide us through that sales process. So our content marketing has driven people to basically provide us with actionable data. We take that actionable data now, feed it into CRM automatically. Now CRM can start doing multiple different things for us, either in the background as workflow, or we can then begin to work with these records and drive them in a way that we want to drive them. So I can see here that she's interested in plotters. She's a support specialist, some phone numbers. We can see that the address down here is set. We have a map here that gives us sort of a little bit of information in terms of where they happen to be. This is default, by the way, out of the box. We can also scroll down into the social insights piece, and this is powered by a company called Inside View. This is available as a free add-in to CRM. It's part of it's a deal that Microsoft put together. And in this case, because we've got some test data, they don't have any information in here about this company, but you'd be able to see information. It would look it up and see, the people that are involved there, giving you additional information about this company so you can begin to do your due diligence and do a little bit of the work that needs to be done to bring that to a qualified lead and push that a little bit further in your sales process. And down here, of course, we see a little bit more information there in the retail entertainment industry. They've got some annual revenue, some other information that you are pulling either manually or that you're going to be able to pull up from Inside View and use that to help make your decisions about your process. In the middle here, we have kind of what we call the social pane. Activities are any of the tasks, phone calls, emails, appointments, anything else that might be coming up, as well as some auto posts about activity that's going on against this lead. So taking Allie here, let's say that we've gone through here, we've identified that there's going to be the purchase time frame here is going to be next quarter. We're going to be able to see some other pieces and parts here. Let's choose another lead here instead of Allie. Let's grab one that's got a little bit more information. Let's go Adam here. There we go, a little bit more information about Adam. So the system has identified that Adam is an existing contact in the system. So you already have him in here as a contact, and it's linked it here to his contact record, as well as Northwind Traders, which is his company, linked here. We can select the time frames here. We can go ahead and start selecting all these other pieces and parts. What's the estimated budget? What's their purchase information? We can say that we've identified their decision makers. This is configurable to what your process needs to be. So now I can say I've already gone ahead and we've identified that this is somebody we want to work with. So we're going to go ahead and qualify this lead now. And that basically is going to move that lead from lead status into opportunity status. And it feeds in, as you can tell, through these pieces and parts to our pipeline. So as we start walking through our process, now we have to identify customer need, the proposed solution. We have to go in and identify stakeholders. And it's, sorry, this is indicative of my demo environment here. It's flashing. I don't know if you can tell that for you, but I can certainly see it with me, and it's a little irritating. But what we're doing is we're basically guiding our team internally to try and walk through these. Now, we haven't identified these in our process as being mandatory, which we can, but oftentimes you make too many things mandatory, and it hurts the process in general in terms of moving it quickly. You've got those that you can step through fairly quickly. But here it's just walking through our develop, propose, close type process. Now, I'm going to go up real quickly and grab our process form, and I just kind of want to show you what this generally is going to look like. So we can go ahead and build these processes as needed for our customers. In this case, we start at the lead. You can see here that this is our lead opportunity sales process that's active. We start with qualify. Here are all the different steps that we want to go through, and the lead, and the fields within CRM that these are related to. So again, we're walking you through not only taking the actionable data that we got, but going through and making sure that we are adding additional actionable data as we go through this whole process. We can then jump forward to the opportunity, because this process will span the different entity records that you've got inside of CRM. It really shouldn't matter anymore to your salespeople. It's about the process. It's about the conversation. It's about nurturing them through all the different pieces and parts that you need to. We can add additional stages. We can change up all the different options. We can change this, and because I'm an administrator in this demo system, I can pull this up and make these changes. We also have the ability within CRM to have multiple processes. So we can switch to a different process if we need to. So in terms of our demo system, we basically have 3 different sales processes that can run inside, and we can identify which one needs to be applied based on what that is. So we don't all have just one business process, one product, and perhaps only one business unit within our organizations. We can pick and choose as needed. So this is, again, engaging that customer, engaging that prospect on their terms, making sure that you're running the right process against it. So maybe it's collaborative selling. Maybe we're building other members of our team in to put a complete sales team together that's going to actually drive this to the end. Maybe it's an existing sales process, so you have a different process that runs between your prospects and new business coming in versus an existing customer and what can be add-on sales or renewal of a contract or whatever the case may be within your organization. And this is why we can select these multiple processes and run them against our opportunities as we go through. So this kind of gives you a quick view as we walk through these. I want to pull up real quickly a couple of different record types. This is back as we saw to the lead records, kind of see a little bit different there. I'm going to pull up Adam Carter as a contact. So you can see a little bit as we start walking it through and you're collecting more information. We see all kinds of different things happening here with Adam. You can see from the centerpiece here basically our social pane. There's all kinds of different posts. These posts are driven by activity that's happening against the Northwind Traders records in CRM, whether it be activities and tasks, phone calls, emails that might be occurring. So if I'm an account manager, but my entire organization is working with my customers, I can see at a glance all of the different interactions and really get a good view of what's going on. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is for an account manager to walk into a customer and get blindsided because they're waiting for a quote. They're waiting for a solution to a service case that might have been opened or something along those lines that the account manager had no idea of because he didn't have visibility to it. And that's why we start, as we bring in, the life cycle of a customer from the content marketing engagements to leads, to becoming a prospect, to selling them something and engaging them and bringing them on as a customer, all the way through the service portion and managing that customer and marketing to that customer as you go through the process. All of that can be seen by those individuals within your organization that truly need to see it. So I'd also like to point out on the contact record that we also have what we call a business process flow. So it's not just about the sales process. In this case, we've got something else that's going on here in terms of nurturing, perhaps, your customers, nurturing them to add additional pieces, to convert them to different products, and kind of walking you through. We've set this up with, for instance, an onboarding process with a new customer. Once you close the sale, that's great. Your sales guy goes off and he's looking for new things. But with the rest of the organization, they've got to bring the customer on board. They've got to get the right contract signed. They've got to make sure that the information's correct, get somebody out perhaps to start a project or deliver a product or whatever the case may be. So you can use CRM within your organization across departments, across disciplines to really manage them soup to nuts, really manage the whole process for your customers and keep the touch points alive and be able to continue that process forward. So that is my time for today. I did want to go back. I'll show you real quickly a company account record, but the same kind of thing. You're starting to collect the data at the company level. You're seeing contacts that exist at the company. They're all linked together. In some CRM systems, you can't have contacts without an account, or there's information perhaps that you are forced to link that really doesn't make sense for your business. CRM is flexible enough that we always start with a process, and then we mold the application and your processes into CRM and make sure that it works well. And I wanted to show you Northwind Traders because it is information that's been populated into the inside view. You can pull this up. You can see all the different pieces and parts that you're getting, whether it be addresses, whether it be some, if there's blog posts or whatever, you'll be able to see them down here. And that's, again, part of that engagement that you can go back and look at what's going on with prospects, with companies that you're working with. Click on the People tab here within the Social Insights piece. You see that we've got various contacts that exist, and these people don't exist in our CRM. These people exist inside of Inside View in their massive database that they have, and because Inside View has the free add-in into CRM, it gives us that ability to begin working on our engagements and trying to work with our prospects. And again, these are posts from the company. Luckily, Northwind Traders is a huge demo account record that Microsoft uses, and they've worked with Inside View to put some data in here so we can show it to you. So that's what I have for you today. We can certainly spend a lot of time inside of CRM and working through what we can show you. I think I'm going to turn this back over to Mark, and I'm going to change my presenter back to Mark. And if we have any questions, I think Mark's going to allow you to use the question and answer portion and start moving it, and we can start answering your questions as they come up.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can, if you want to go ahead and show your screen.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so what I wanted to do was do a couple of things here. That's not one of them. Anyway, I wanted to provide my contact information for everybody out there, as well as Nanette's, but also give all the attendees an opportunity to submit questions. There is a question tab on your GoToMeeting control panel that you can use to submit questions. So we'll wait just a little while to let people submit some questions, and while those are populating my screen, I'm going to let you know that we'll be following up with an email tomorrow or the next day with a link to a recording of today's webinar. So if you had any phone calls come in or got distracted but wanted to come back and take advantage of this great content, you'll be able to do that. As well as on our YouTube channel. XRM Cubed has a YouTube channel in which we upload most of our webinars, and we've gotten tens of thousands of people come by to view those, so that's a great way to take advantage of our content as well. Ken, we have a question.
Mark, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mark. I'm going to go ahead and answer one question about the spring release that's come up. So CRM Online has a pretty regular release schedule where they're bringing additional functionality in. They're shooting for twice a year. Dynamics CRM 2013, the version I just showed you, came out in the fall of last year. So that was their big push for that. This spring we have a new release coming out. There's a couple of marketing pieces that they purchased, that Microsoft has purchased a year ago, and they're finally integrating them in. The first is the old marketing pilot piece, which they're bringing in. That's a full campaign management tool, really geared towards enterprise organizations that are running multiple content through, and it's a great way. It's a great tool if you're doing a lot of campaigns, in-depth type campaigns. It's a great add-in that's going to be available, and that is going to be at a nominal charge. The second piece is the old, what's called NetBreeze. So if those of you who've been around and have heard of the NetBreeze acquisition that Microsoft made, NetBreeze is a social listening tool, and they've completely reconfigured it, made it an integral part of Dynamics CRM Online, and it will be available as well for on-premise. But for your professional users online, which is the license classification, it is going to be provided at no charge. It's going to be a part of the system, and it's been rebranded as the Marketing Social Listening Tool, which allows you to get sentiment in all of the social media platforms that are out there. It monitors it. You can build different queries. If you've got a campaign out or a new product release or something like that, and it goes out and it monitors that information for you, and it comes back and it really is slick. It uses it, and it has the ability to use multiple languages and go through and interpret those for you. It's a great tool. It's going to be provided for free, like I said, for those on the professional license scheme, which is almost everybody that's using CRM Online. And for the on-premise users, at first, it will be available for a nominal charge. They haven't said what it is yet, but I'm sure it's going to be fairly, very low-priced and value-packed for you. But again, if you're CRM Online, it is going to be included. And Mark and I will be attending the Microsoft Dynamics Convergence Conference coming up here in a couple weeks in Atlanta. It's with 12,000 of our closest Microsoft partners and customers and everything else. It's a great conference every year, and if you're not attending and you are a Dynamics user, whether it's the ERP side or the CRM side, we encourage you to think about going next year if you're not going this year. It's a great time. It's got lots of new information and lots of hands-on tools and training sessions. So go ahead, Mark.
We have a great question from one of our attendees. In respect to pushing content, today's webinar being all about content, so the content that's not just residing on a website or within Twitter or Facebook, in respect to pushing those out to contacts and leads, do you recommend that customers do that from within the CRM or utilizing some other tool like marketing automation tool?
That is a good question, and there's actually a couple of really, really long answers. So let me try and break it down. If you have a website and you're dealing with landing pages and you want your folks to be filling those out, then those can be either very easily some code written to push those directly to CRM for you, or you can use a couple of the marketing automation tools that exist in the workspace. We use a company called Click Dimensions, and they provide a tool that's great because it builds your landing pages for you. It's all HTML, WYSIWYG type editing and configuration, and you can build the landing pages, and it's directly linked to your CRM system, so it automatically pushes that information in. It can do, push it in as a lead record, a contact record, whatever the case may be. We found that's one of the easiest ones because it also does all of your HTML email blasts and such all together. So, for instance, using a tool like Click Dimensions allows us to do our marketing, build, for instance, the invites that you folks all got for this this webinar is a perfect example. We're driven directly from our CRM using Click Dimensions. You sign up for the webinar using the link, which is a click that comes back into our CRM, so we know that you clicked on it and opened it. And then the actual GoToMeeting webinar registration information is fed directly back into CRM as well. So we can see who registered, when they registered. We have all the stats there, which then, again, this is one of those actionable content marketing driven pieces of data that all of this is getting pushed back into CRM, and it's actionable for us to work on. We can see who clicked on what. We can see who perhaps needs to be added to which drip or nurture marketing campaigns. And using a tool like that that's designed to be integrated with Dynamics CRM gives you unbelievable flexibility and the power to leverage all that content marketing that you're doing and bringing it into CRM very easily, very efficiently.
Okay, we're getting a little late. We have time for one more question. This is a good one as well. It says we are using, I'm just going to say blank, it's a competitive CRM product. And what we're finding is our per user price keeps increasing every time we add additional functionality or customization. Is that the case with Dynamics CRM?
Great question. And the quick and easy answer is no. Dynamics CRM and Microsoft has made a commitment to provide a value-based product. So, for instance, one of the main competitors, you go out and you get a professional license that integrates with Outlook, that integrates with Office, that does the things that Dynamics CRM does out of the box, and you're dealing with almost twice the monthly per user price. Dynamics CRM is priced effectively so that we can always compete without even trying hard on the price side of things. But on the functionality side of things, for instance, we just talked about NetBreeze that's coming out in the spring. That compares to some products perhaps that our competitors have that they charge for. So you have your base price, then you want that social listening piece, that's going to be more money. Oh, you want the integration Outlook, that's going to be more. So CRM doesn't do that, and as their pricing sits today, it's generally a single price, and you can bring a lot of these pieces and parts in without jacking up your monthly cost.
All right, well, it's 3 after 11 here on the West Coast, and we'd like to thank you for your attending. If there's something that we didn't cover or you have additional questions, you should have my email address. I'll also be following up with a phone call in the next few days to see if we can help you with an existing installation of Dynamics CRM or perhaps a new one. Again, thank you so much, and have a great day. Thank you, Nanette. You did a great job, and we really appreciate it.
Thanks, Nanette.